Business alert, the housing market showing signs of improvement closing out the year. Today, there was more proof. We had new home sales rising 5.5% in November. The median sale price for a new home increased 8% to $213,000. That was month over month. Real estate expert Billy Procida says the big question is 2011, and when all of that backlog foreclosure finally comes gushing out into the market. Billy, welcome to the show. The intro makes it sound ominous, but you're actually upbeat about the housing market.
Oh, well, things are definitely improving, but you just have to remember how bad it was and how much overbuilding there was and how much the market got hyped because there was too much liquidity. So I think we've gotten through the first stage of it, and you know, look, particularly we're on TV here. The more the media starts talking good about housing, you know, perception becomes reality. So I think next year we're going to be leveling. I think if there's any one message to the public, it's if you're going to buy this year, because it's only going to go up and interest rates are only going to go up.
Okay, but listen, there's a huge backlog. I mean, even the numbers that came out today, month supply went up. We've got the shadow inventory.
Shadow inventory, big issue.
You have foreclosures that were stopped because of the robo signings. Mm-hmm. It seemed like there could be a second avalanche of foreclosed homes. So I can still see a would-be buyer saying, I'm not going to pull the trigger yet.
Well, look, if you're waiting, you're trying to time the market, and the interest rates could go up on you. And if you're looking for a house, I mean, look, one thing about housing, we got to remember, it's a house. I mean, yes, it's an investment, but it's a house. If you want a place to live and you like it, buy it, live there. Don't try to keep timing and trading it. Shadow inventory is a big issue. I do think it's good. The banks, whether by government intervention or their own good sense, have slowed down the flow. So there is going to be a lot of foreclosures that are going to come to market because they've been slowed down, but that's just going to increase the availability and give a buyer more product. The sand states, though, are trouble. You're still going to have in Arizona, okay, Las Vegas, Florida, you still got big issues down there.
Still lingering. Was that much of a bubble?
There, I'm not sure I'd be buying so fast. If I was buying, I'd buy in a mature project.
Okay, you talked about interest rates and you talked about prices. We had a scenario where interest rates were dropping, I mean, just to lows that anyone living in a house 10, 20, 30 years, they're looking at interest rates now and it's just like, wow, they're almost giving houses away. But that didn't seduce anyone off the sidelines. So now we've got prices moving up a little bit, interest rates moving up a little bit. Do you think there could be a sense of urgency that now the train is leaving the station, maybe I can start to move?
Yeah, I mean, I think now is the time. I mean, you know, look, you have so many different issues going on right now between the deficit and jobs and all the wars we have. So, you know, if you got a job and you can afford it, buy a house. It's the right time.
It's the right time.
Yeah.
Tell us the worst case scenario, though, for going into next year. I mean, because there are still some risk attached to buying a house right now.
Well, there's always risk if you're a speculator. And there's always a risk whenever you do anything or buy anything you can't afford.
But if I bought a new house from the government housing program just back in March, I'd already be 30 grand under just based on the average prices. So, I mean, there's even risk, even if you're not a speculator, that you can move too soon.
Yeah, but you got to remember, in housing, if you look at housing, it goes like this over 10, 20 years. And if you're going to stay in a place for 10 years, you're going to get appreciation. You know, I mean, I just bought a house I overpaid for. I liked it. I could afford it. So housing got to be an investment commodity that it should have never have been.
Right.
And that was really because the banks were forcing money out the door.
All right, Billy. Love the tie. Love your message. Really appreciate it. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
All righty.